Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we're diving into a real cornerstone of personal finance literature, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, the one by Robert Kiyosaki. It's really shifted perspectives for a lot of people. Kiyosaki basically talks about growing up with two dads, financially speaking. There was his actual dad, highly educated, but, well, always struggling with money. That's the poor dad. And then his best friend's dad, this rich dad, who is more street smart and wealthy. So our mission here for you is to really pull out the key lessons from these like completely different ways of looking at money, jobs, investing, give you a kind of shortcut to understanding these powerful ideas.
Yeah, and what's so potent about it, I think, is how it just cuts through a lot of the standard advice we get. It really challenges that conventional wisdom. The book is full of these, like, aha
Yeah.
moments because Kiyosaki breaks down why these two dads thought so differently about finances. And honestly, these lessons still incredibly relevant for understanding how money actually works, maybe, beyond the classroom.
Okay, so let's dig into that. One of the big ideas right off the bat is this concept he calls the rat race. The usual path, school, good job, work hard. But he says that can be a trap, right? Like just
Yeah.
working endlessly to cover expenses. How does the rich dad thinking help someone break out of that?
Well, the rich dad's point is that just earning a higher salary doesn't fix the fundamental issue if you're stuck in that race. You get a pay bump, maybe buy nicer things, your expenses creep up, and you're still essentially just trading your time for money, still stuck. The shift, he says, is crucial. Stop focusing only on working for money and start figuring out how to make your money work for you. That means building things that generate income on their own, assets. And that's where real financial education, maybe not the kind you get formally, becomes, well, everything.
Right. Which brings us neatly to that other huge concept, assets versus liabilities. We all sort of know the dictionary definition, but Kiyosaki reframes it in a really practical, almost liberating way. How does he simplify that difference, and why is it so fundamental?
It's almost startlingly simple. He just says, an asset puts money in your pocket, period.
Hmm.
A liability takes money out of your pocket. That's it. But the implications are huge. It often surprises people. Like, take your home. Most people think, my house is my biggest asset. But Kiyosaki pushes back. If you're paying the mortgage, property taxes, insurance repairs, if it's constantly pulling money out without bringing income in, then according to him, it's behaving like a liability. It's not actually generating wealth for you in that scenario.
Oh, yeah. That is a big mental shift. So, if the family home isn't necessarily an asset in his framework, what kind of things does he count as true assets, the kind that put money in your pocket?
He really emphasizes things that create passive or portfolio income. So think about investment properties, bringing in rent checks each month, or businesses you own that can run, mostly without your day-to-day grinding away in them. And of course, paper assets, stocks that pay dividends, bonds that pay interest, things like that. The whole idea is to focus on acquiring these income-producing assets. Build up that asset column, as he calls it, so the cash flow from those assets eventually covers your expenses. That's the path out of needing that paycheck just to survive. It requires understanding basic financial statements, too.
Makes sense. And it's not just about what you buy, but also how you approach work itself, right? He talks about working to learn, not just working to earn. What's the rich dad thinking there?
Yeah, that's another powerful piece of advice. The idea isn't just to chase the biggest paycheck right now. Instead, look for jobs or opportunities, especially early on, that teach you critical skills. Things like sales, marketing, understanding accounting, negotiation, maybe even basic legal concepts.